So I made a video about Gaza, about Netanyahu and how he should be hanged for war crimes that butcher murdering children. I talked about the occupation in the West Bank as well, and the blockade and many other things. And some megaphonies got on and made a bunch of pro-Zionist comments on there. The rockets, the rockets. Like they just come out of the blue and have nothing to do with the murder of a 13-year-old boy, and then the Israelis going and shooting up a funeral, all of which happened before any rockets were fired. And these are homemade rockets versus F-15s and modern weaponry. The Palestinians don't have any of that stuff. This isn't even two militaries fighting each other. It's a military versus militia groups. But anyway, if you notice, go back to that video and look at the megaphony Zionist things. They're all almost new accounts. They're all faceless cowards. They won't show their face. It just has the little icon with the blue background and the white head on it. Because they don't want to show you, one, it's only a few people with multiple accounts, and two, they're all chicken shit, chicken hawks, pussies. That's who supports this kind of bullying. These little pussies who get a sense of vicarious masculinity of somebody using U.S. made and bought and paid for weapons to go blow the hell out of people who are throwing rocks and shooting homemade rockets, because they can sit up in the air at a great distance and hit them with real rockets from helicopters and missiles, blowing up houses. They just killed a family of 9 today, wiped them all out. This is ongoing. God, the real estate agent. And I love this other excuse where they're like, well, there's all these other giant, big, huge Arab nations, the Palestinians should just get the F out and go live in Jordan or whatever. Yeah, under that logic, why, let's just kick all the Africans out of South Africa, all the blacks, just get rid of them, because there's so many other African nations, it's so big, just get them all out and make South Africa white. Why not? That's so ridiculous. One, they're indigenous to Africa, as are the Palestinians to Palestine. There never was an Israel until 1948. There never was an Israel. Even in the Bible, Israel isn't land, it's a name. It's the name given to Jacob, the core founder in Judaism, who is nothing but a deceiver. He lies to his blind father. He tricks his brother who was starving out of his birthright when he was completely desperate. He goes and works and tricks his employer. He goes and swindles him, gets his daughter. That isn't good enough, then sleeps with his other slave, that got daughter's sister, the younger sister Rachel. So he's got 2 slaves, 2 wives, porking his wife's younger sister, lying to his family, lying to his employer, and this is all praise. Then he gets in a wrestling match with an angel or God or some immortal thing and injures his hip and changes his name from Jacob to Israel, and from that bloodline come the Israelites and the 12 tribes and the rest of the rhetoric. Now, none of this is historically true. This is all religious history. It's not real history of the Hebrews who were enslaved by the Babylonians and then became the Jews when they made up their religion, which came from Kabbalism, blah blah blah, and stole parts of Zoroastrianism and Horusism. Everything from the land claims and stuff is all based on deception, and it doesn't matter. You can't racially inherit land. It wouldn't matter even if the Israelites were indigenous and lived there as a majority and got kicked out, and whatever their stupid narrative is. You still can't just go around murdering children, blockading people from food and crayons, etc. All these European Jews that moved down to Palestine and renamed it Israel, which is totally based on the religious rhetoric. They could have gone anywhere, could have just stayed in Europe. The Allies did win the war. But no, Israel was created. Just like India was partitioned into East and West Pakistan and India, and there's been fighting in all these places ever since. Because you can't get religious factions to ever agree upon anything, because they're both starting from positions of irrationality, and that is why you can never find a compromise or get anything done. But here's the thing. I don't care what your religion is or lack of religion is. Murder is wrong. Killing kids and taking their property, killing anybody and taking their property is wrong. You do not racially inherit land. You cannot say this is the land of X. The Jewish state, the Christian state, the atheist state, whatever. You cannot proclaim a piece of dirt based on your political ideology. People who are already living there have rights to where they are living. You cannot kick someone off their personal property because they're not the right race, religion, or whatever your rhetoric is. You insane psychopaths. Netanyahu should be hanged for war crimes.